Now, the greatest radio shows of all time.
Suspense.
The Shadow Node.
Washington calling David Harding, Counter Spy.
Classic radio theater.
The Great Gildersleeve. Fibber McGee and Molly.
Dragnet. Gunsmoke.
The Lone Ranger.
Now, step back into our time machine with your host, Wyatt Cox.
Good evening, friends of the Inner Sanctum.
Back in 1989, Fox rolled out a brand new reality show. It was purported to be one of the first of its kind, reality program live from the streets called Cops, as it covered police on duty. And you saw all sorts of interesting things. And it was supposed to be the first of its kind, real cops, real people. It was not the first of its kind. The first of its kind was on CBS Radio back in 1954. Yes, reporter Donn Reid rode in a patrol car on the night shift with a hidden microphone and a suitcase-sized recorder, recording what went on the mean streets of Culver City, California. And that's what we're going to hear this hour. We're going to go all the way back to May 3rd, 1954, as we ride along with the patrolman, including reporter Donn Reid, on the Nightwatch from May 3rd, 1954.
Car 50 in service. Starting mileage 2497, 2497. Officers Perkins and Madlock, turret duty 6 p.m. to 2 a.m. on the night watch.
Check 50, 6:02 p.m. Starting night watch.
This is Donn Reid, and I'm the police recorder riding with this detective unit. The sounds you're listening to are authentic, and you're going to ride with us tonight and listen as the cases unfold. Now, I want you to remember one thing. The people you hear are not actors. This is real. This is what happens on the Night Watch.
Night Watch, the actual on-the-scene report of your police force in action. There are no actors. There is no script. Every voice, every sound is authentic. The investigations are recorded as they actually occur. Night Watch, presented with the cooperation of the Police Department of Culver City, California. W.N. Hildebrand, Chief. We switch you now to Car 50 on patrol and your police recorder, Donn Reid.
Well, it's 1:30 a.m. on the Night Watch. We've been patrolling for over 7 hours, and things have been fairly quiet tonight. Just checking our log. At 8:21 p.m., assisted Car 57 with a miscellaneous injury call. 9:30 until approximately 12:40 a.m., we staked out on a liquor store on a tip that it might be held up. 3 hours of waiting and no soap.
Well, you can't say we didn't try, Donnie.
That's right. You know, people
All
really
units,
use a minute.
All units in the vicinity and cars 50 and 52. At 2700 Burlingame, at the gas station, 459 there now.
That's
50, roger.
rolling on that call. A 459 means there's a burglar there now. There's little traffic on the street, and we're actually in the vicinity at the present time. So, in just a matter of minutes, we'll be there. Rolling at a very good clip now, slowing down momentarily. We have a rather odd sensation here in the car. There's fog lying in patches across the street, and every few seconds we sort of burst in and then out again. And just for that split second, our visibility is zero. Here comes another one up. You probably can feel the car slow down just a bit as the sergeant instinctively hits that brake. There we're in second, and in the clear once again and rolling. Now, I'll try to fill you in on just a bit of this picture in this last few moments. The gas station that we're trying to get to. Hold on, we're making a turn. There we are, squared away. The gas station that we're going to, we've been there many times before, and if we can get there soon enough, we have a fighting chance of getting him, because the gas station is set in a large clearing, as I remember, and is completely glassed in. So if he's in that vicinity, well, time will tell. Here we goes another turn. We're about 3 blocks from the station now. There goes off our headlights. We'll run in the dark the rest of the way. Try not to attract too much more attention than necessary. The street is almost empty as we're coming in from the opposite direction. There's calls coming over our speaker. Now, looking off in the distance, I can see the lights of another one of our cars coming in. That's a safe bet. It's another one of our units rolling in. And looking ahead, there's the gas station over on the right-hand side. As far as I can see, it's dark. There's no sign of life. Now we're pulling in quietly. Lights are off. The car is stopped. Sergeant Perkins is out of the car and hurrying around to the front door. The other police unit is pulled around to the other side of the building. They're out of my view. Now let's get right out with the officers. Out of the car. Up against the building. Moving along in the dark. There's glass breaking somewhere. Let's get around there. There he is. They got him. Popping him through the glass window. He was trying to make a break for it. The officers are putting him under arrest. So let's get right over there.
Hang on against the wall there. Who else is around here?
Nobody. No.
What are you doing at the gas station?
The window was busted and
What are you doing inside? Take a look at that hand here. How'd you cut your hand?
On the window?
Now put your hands around and back there. Don't mess around, fella. Put your hands around and back of you.
Please don't take me in, please.
You're going in.
Please don't take me in, sir. Please. Please.
Get the flashlight. Put your hands around here now.
Oh, please don't take me in.
Put your arm back. Hurry up.
Please, my mother will kill me.
Put your arm back here.
Oh, don't take me in. All right, now. Oh, okay. Oh, please don't take me in.
You're going in, son. You want to break into a place like this.
Okay, I'm not going nowhere.
Right, you're not going anywhere. The only place you're going is the jail.
Oh, please don't take me in, sir, please.
What are you doing in this building in here?
I was just walking by and saw the window broken.
So you climbed in.
So I climbed in.
Take him in, Bert.
Please don't take me in, sir, please.
The officers have the suspect handcuffed and are escorting him to a police car. Meanwhile, one of the officers are going to take pictures of the point of entry to be used as evidence if necessary.
Let me get a picture, please. All right, go ahead. Get out of here. The informant is across the street here. Gave a telephone call. I'll go check with him. Pretty good observation. I'll check with him if you want. See how much blood I got on me. None. Lucky. News for you. You get some on you?
No, but I had it on my hands and I wiped it on my coat. I don't know where I got the blood from.
Should I get him on there, too?
That was a lucky break.
Boy.
And how?
Boy, that happened so fast. Phew. Let's move over to the police car where Officer DeVoe is holding the prisoner.
GTA, don't you know any better than GTA to break into a place and try to burglarize? Please don't take me in. I'll get all kinds of messed up. Sure you'll get messed up. You should have thought of that before you started this. You never learn once, you never learn the second time. Oh, sir, God, I learned, honest, I learned. Please don't take me in. What are you going to be doing at 21 if you're doing it now? I won't do this again, sir, honest, I won't. Please don't take me in, please. Just let me go. Say I escaped or something, but let me go. No, we can't do that. Oh, sir, I'll never do it again, sir, honest, I swear it. Oh, you should have thought of all that before you started this in here. Oh, sir, can't you let me out of here, please? Honest to God, I didn't do it. I just went in.
Well, what are you doing in the building? The building's locked up.
The window was broken.
How'd you cut your hand?
On the window, crawling in.
Well, what are you doing crawling in the window like that?
I wanted to see what was up. I didn't know what was happening.
You can look through the glass, can't you?
I couldn't see anything.
Well, then what'd you go in for? It's none of your business. That's what we get paid for. It's our job, not yours. You been in trouble before?
Yeah.
What for?
For GTA.
What else?
That's all.
That's all?
That's all.
You on probation now?
Yeah.
Let's get around the building now with the sergeant and Officer Hebrard and examine where the suspect broke in.
I'm going to get some fingerprints on this thing, because if we can tie his fingerprints in there, then we've got definite proof. You want a radio for him?
Looking inside of the broken glass where we captured the suspect just a few moments ago. Let's see, it's rather dark in the building here, and I can see where he's been attempting to work on the cash register. Fortunately, he didn't quite make it. want to get too close to the building for the simple reason we don't want to leave any fingerprints. The men will be down here. Sergeant Perkins? This is the gentleman that...
Are you the one that made this call?
Yeah.
Could you recognize who it was?
No.
Can you tell me this? After you called the police, did you watch the place here?
Yeah.
Did you see anybody leave?
No.
How many did you see here at the station?
Just the one.
Just the one. And then after you called the police, you didn't see anybody else leave the station?
No.
Okay, fine. Well, we may want some more information from you later. We can get it from your organization. Appreciate it very much.
Sure.
It's very alert on your part. Good night, folks.
Only 4 blocks.
You don't worry about your house now, son. You're in it for a day. Your parents will be notified as soon as possible, but after the booking, not before.
It won't do me no good, though, now.
Well, it won't do you any good afterwards.
But I didn't do it.
Well, you just relax. Everything's going to be all right.
Oh, no, I'm going to get all messed up now.
There goes car 5-2, moving out now with the prisoner. Officer DeVoe driving. Officer Hebrard guarding the prisoner. He's securely handcuffed. There they go. Now I see the sergeant waving. That's our cue to get back to our police car.
5-0 to Control 1. Have you notified Lieutenant Olson on the fingerprints down here?
5-1, I have not as yet. I am attempting to contact the owner.
5-0, Roger. We'll stand by until you get either Lieutenant Olson or the owner down here.
5-0, Roger.
And arriving now is the head of the Records and Identification Bureau, Lieutenant Olson.
Oh, me.
Hi, Lieutenant.
Fine. How are you?
Fine, thank you.
Watch it now. Of course, he does deny it, huh?
He was in the place when we saw him, but he said he went into the door, found the door open.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why we want to get the fingerprints inside if we could.
Don't disturb any of that glass there.
The rock is inside that apparently he used to break in.
The officers are going into the building, so let's go in with them. Now, here's a quick picture. The floor is littered with broken glass. The cash drawer is broken open and coins are scattered all over the floor. And spots of blood are here and there, indicating the suspect cut his hand getting in.
There's a penny there.
We're on the cash tray?
Yeah, cash tray. There's blood on the pennies
Yeah,
here.
there's blood on the pennies and the tray, both.
The other money is still in the...
There's blood on the toolbox there, sir.
blood on the toolbox.
Yes, sir.
You want it for analysis?
Now, let me get an envelope out here. Drop them right in this envelope.
I'll get the picture.
I think that's all you need. Here's some more in here. You don't... That's the kids. He's Cook Goslin.
You are listening to Nightwatch and following the activities of a detective unit on their tour of duty. The people you hear are not actors, and every voice and every sound is real. The investigations are recorded as they actually occur. We will give you the final results of tonight's case at the conclusion of The Nightwatch.
From May 3rd, 1954, Nightwatch on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox.
Hi, this is Kyle Horvath with the White Pine County Tourism and Recreation Board. If you want to get away from the big cities and get back to nature this summer, give us a call at 775-289-3720 or visit us online at elinevada.net. There's so much to do and see I can't mention it in 30 seconds, but check out our website and you'll see what Nevada is really all about. elinevada.net or follow us on Facebook or Instagram. Give us a call at 775-289-3720 or visit us online at elinevada.net.
Let's see, if something costs less, but people are happier with it, that sounds like something to look into, and that's MediShare. Maybe you've heard switching to MediShare to pay for healthcare can save the typical family $500 a month, and that's huge, but it's also true that people are way more satisfied after making the switch, too. The customer satisfaction rate for MediShare is double that of the typical health insurance plan. Double. MediShare works. It's been around for more than a quarter century, and members have shared more than $3 billion of each other's bills. People love having telehealth and a huge nationwide PPO network. So, yeah, you can save a ton and like it better. Imagine being happy with how you're taking care of your health care. So if you're self-employed or part of the gig economy, or you just want a plan you're happy with, you can call right now and get a price within 2 minutes. A very, very smart use of 2 minutes. Here's the number you need. 833-34-BIBLE. That's 833-34-BIBLE. 833-34-BIBLE.
Nightwatch ran on CBS from April 5th, 1954 to April 21st, 1955, And we'll tell you more about Nightwatch as our program progresses today. In fact, the way that the two people in this program who were on the show, Donn Reid, and how Sergeant Ron Perkins came out, I think you'll find it interesting. More of Nightwatch, May 3rd, 1954.
We're located now in the Detective Bureau.
Tell us what happened tonight.
Sergeant Perkins, along with the other arresting officers, Hebrard and DeVoe, are about to question the young suspect.
You go by yourself?
Just sitting here, two things impress me a great deal.
Walking home?
First, despite the fact that this suspect is a big fellow, he's just a boy, maybe 15 or 16. And the great difference in his composure. At the scene, he was nearly hysterical. And now? Well, you decide that for yourself.
I think I was just standing there thinking what I'll do next. So I went in.
What did you do after you got into the gas station?
I looked around for a while, and there's a container deal with some pennies or some junk on it. I don't know, I think I shoved it over. And I was in the middle picking the things up when you people came.
How much trouble have you been in before?
GTA. And, the GTA and the joyriding before that.
You have one joyriding and one Grand Theft Auto?
Uh-huh.
When you went to show tonight, did you have any intention of breaking into the gas station?
No, I didn't have any intention. I just started walking by. And I don't know what happened, but after that I just picked up a rock and I threw it through.
Did you try to get in the building at all before? Did you try to pry the window or pry the door?
No, I didn't try to pry it. I walked over and I looked in. I think I wanted to check my watch or something. I think there's a little clock in there somewhere. I don't know what it was, but I went by there and I looked in. And then I walked over and I picked up a stone, a rock, whatever you want to call it. Heaved it. I don't know why, I just did it.
Excuse me just a minute. Perkins. Okay. DeVoe. Green wants to see you. You know you're fairly lucky to have gotten out of that without being shot tonight?
Yeah, I've been told.
We're going to call your mother in a few minutes and tell her where you are. We can't release you now. I have to stay here, and then from here you go down to juvenile hall.
Mm-hmm.
Do you want to take him back up? This is Sergeant Perkins. We have your son up here in jail. He broke into a gas station a little while ago. I don't know why he broke into it, but he broke into it. We caught him inside of the station. He doesn't know why he broke into it. Well, I don't either, ma'am. Well, I just wanted to notify you that he's here in jail and that he'll be here until tomorrow and transferred down to juvenile hall tomorrow afternoon. No, ma'am, we can't release him, but you can see him if you want to come down and see him. Okay.
It's about 30 minutes since that phone call. The mother, accompanied by the suspect's older brother, have just entered the office.
In the gas station.
All right, cry at home. What time did you pick him
Just
up?
looking at the mother.
What time was it?
Well, the scene is a little hard to take.
1:15. He was crouched behind the door inside when I got there. The window was broken, and a lot of the things on the station were all over the floor.
How many boys were there?
Just himself, just one. He told us that he came by the station and he didn't know why he did it, but picked up a rock and threw it through the window on the other side.
I think the kid's become a mental case.
Are you his brother?
Yeah. You live about 4 blocks from the station. I mean, you could have just as well continued on home. There's no excuse for it. How much did he gain by it?
He didn't gain anything.
Why don't you go sit outside, man?
You want to take out some water right outside there and talk to you?
Come on. Get up, man.
I'll be sitting here all
What's good
I'll be all
right.
right.
Crying. You're busy. You can't watch you all night.
I'll be all right.
Would you like a glass of water?
No, I'll be okay, thank you. You know, they'll ship them up and I'll lose the book on them. I don't know what to say.
Well, we're going to have to find out what's causing him to do these things. Try to get it stopped before he gets himself into some trouble.
I took him to the movies, and I said, when he calls me up, I'll pick him up. He never calls. I've been laying and watching that bed. I figured any minute he's coming along. I see it's 2 o'clock. It's 2:30. I figured he stopped. He goes to Hamilton. There's a little place there, an inn or something, that he may have stopped there. I wasn't going to go out at night and drive around and look. I figured I'll wait. This is what I waited for. I'll just ship him right back, if not even worse. Well, this is it.
Would you like to see your son?
I'd like to see what he has to say.
All right. Would you like to see him?
May as well face the music. I don't know if he'll say anything.
Do you want him brought down here?
Sure. They can come down.
Bring him down here and then let them talk alone in a few minutes.
Donn Reid, the field reporter for Nightwatch, would go on to be one of the first traffic helicopter reporters in Southern California. Ron Perkins, the sergeant you hear in this, was elected mayor of Culver City, California. Nightwatch, May 3rd, 1954, on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox. We'll hear the conclusion of Nightwatch, but first, these important messages from your favorite station.
Are you in bad pain? You know what I mean. Your knees hurt, your shoulder hurts, your elbow and back are constantly killing you. And I'm sure you've tried every pain pill or cream available at the drugstore. Am I right? Well, here's something you haven't tried. Pain Magic. Pain Magic is not available at any drugstore. The only place you can get it is by calling the special toll-free number I'm about to give you.
And to make things even better, call right now and find out about our buy one, get one free offer. We're so confident it'll work for you that we offer a free bottle with your purchase. No prescription required.
Call now to learn how you can get Pain Magic and get rid of your pain. Remember, your results may vary.
800-492-8164. 800-492-8164. 800-492-8164. That's 800-492-8164.
No offense, but are you a little fat when you look in the mirror? How would you like to learn the secrets to lose 3 to 5 pounds a week easily without joining the gym or going through any crazy diets? It's called Body Sculpt by Med Diet. For the last 2 decades, we've been helping people just like you that have pounds they want to shed. We've helped millions of people lose thousands and thousands of pounds over the years. And now it's your turn. Learn the secrets of how to lose weight with one simple phone call. You'll see an amazing difference in a matter of days. Don't believe us? We'll offer you a money-back guarantee. If you're ready to start losing weight right now, call right now to learn more about your risk-free order to Body Sculpt.
Call for your risk-free offer. 800-738-5332. 800-738-5332. 800-738-5332. That's 800-738-5332.
Now the conclusion of Nightwatch from the mean streets of Culver City, California, as it was broadcast May 3rd, 1954. The conclusion here on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox.
You live at home?
I'm staying at my mother's house.
Have you noticed anything about your brother?
Nothing that would indicate anything like this. I mean, there's no actual reason for it.
Here he is. 15 years old, 6 feet tall, 190 pounds, accompanied by an officer.
What happened?
Remember yourself, really. You don't know yourself. You just go throw a
Let
rock
him
through the window?
Where did you go after the movies?
Just after walking home.
How come you were so late from the movies?
Well, so late. It was about 12,
The way you're acting, somebody think you're under narcotics. Are you groggy from something?
No.
I've been up almost 15 hours on the clock. I'm sitting there watching that bed of yours. I'm not groggy. I can account for every minute. What happened to you?
I don't know.
You know what this means to you and to me, don't you?
Yeah.
What does it mean to me?
It was going to get messed up again. Why did you think of that before you threw the rock? You had 4 blocks to go. You would have been home. You had to stop on the way.
You want to talk to him alone, then?
You mind if we do?
No, it's okay. Why don't you step right outside up there? Shut the door right now. Regular examination.
After having a few moments alone with the boy, he has been returned to his cell. And again, the mother and brother are talking with Sergeant Perkins.
A lengthy psychiatric examination, try to find out what's back of it. We're primarily interested in the boy and getting him squared away, getting him straightened out. He's just lucky tonight that he wasn't shot. If he'd gotten away with this, why, maybe tomorrow night he'd try something else. Somewhere along the line, somebody was going to get hurt.
I don't know what to say.
The only thing we know about the boy is the last 3 hours.
I don't think we know much more.
We can't get deeper into him anymore. I stood out there and he didn't say one word. So, I don't know. Somewhere something is wrong.
You have been listening to an actual capture and interrogation of a young juvenile suspect charged with burglary. And now back to police headquarters and Chief W.N. Hildebrand.
Tonight's case of the juvenile burglar is very unique because it allowed you to follow the action from the very inception of the call. Although this case may be more or less routine as far as the records go, the important thing was the apprehension of this boy and the instigation of corrective measures. My department is cooperating in bringing you Nightwatch because we believe by bringing into the open such cases as you heard tonight, we may help to deter some youngsters throughout the country who are taking the same chances and have not yet been caught. If we succeed in just reaching a few of them, then our efforts will be well rewarded in bringing you Nightwatch.
Thank you, Chief Hildebrand. You have just heard on-the-scene reports of your police force in action. Every voice, every sound has been real. Nightwatch, brought to you through the cooperation of your police department of Culver City, California, is produced by Sterling Tracy and Jim Hadlock, with technical advice by Sergeant Ron Perkins, and described in the field by police recorder Donn Reid.
It's 4:30 a.m., and we've just pulled into the police garage after taking the mother and brother of the suspect home. Well, I don't know how you feel about it, but, brother, I've had it.
I'm with you.
You know, Sergeant, I can't help but think of that boy tonight. His mother breaking into that gas station.
Yeah, but that isn't all he broke tonight. Let me have a cigarette, will you?
Yeah, sure. Here you are.
Control 1 to 50, are you still in service?
50 to 1, we're just checking in now.
Roger, 50, 4:36 a.m., end of night watch.
And just think, Fox thought they came up with something original. But, you know, technological innovations made these sort of shows available both on radio and in the late 80s on television. Nightwatch, May 3rd, 1954, on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox.
Are you suffering with arthritis or osteoporosis? Do you have diabetes? Did you know that these are just 2 of the hundreds of diseases that have seen improvement with Dr. Wallach's incredible longevity products? You can't get them at a health food store. The only way to get them is to call us at 800-214-0065. That's 800-214-0065. Do you have heart disease, fibromyalgia, or high blood pressure? Do you have a terrible time losing weight? Dr. Wallach can help. He was a veterinarian and cured diseases in animals. He felt that he could do the same for humans, so he became a physician. Over 50 years of research and helping people like you goes into every bottle of Dr. Wallach's amazing discoveries. Do you want to feel better? Learn how to treat the cause of your problem rather than covering up the symptoms with drugs. Call 800-214-0065. That's 800-214-0065.
Now on Classic Radio Theater, the fourth part of the five-part Yours Truly Johnny Dollar story, The Callicles Matter. This episode was originally broadcast on Thursday, May 3rd, 1956.
From Hollywood, it's time now for...
Johnny Dollar.
Ready with your Crestview number, Mr. Dollar.
Good.
Yeah?
Mr. Parsons?
Who's this?
Johnny Dollar.
What are you doing in town?
Still looking for your son, Mr. Parsons.
You met him yesterday. He's been found. He wasn't lost. So
I met the man you hired to convince me that he was your son. I know he isn't.
Listen, if you're going to make trouble...
I will if I have to. I have that guy's signature on 2 papers in my briefcase. It constitutes a witness forgery, no matter how you look at it. I'd be willing to call up a lawyer and see what kind of noise I can make.
What do you want?
I'll be out to tell you in 20 minutes.
Tonight, and every weekday night, Bob Bailey in the transcribed adventures of the man with the action-packed expense account, America's fabulous freelance insurance investigator...
Yours truly, Johnny Dollar. Expense account submitted by Special Investigator Johnny Dollar. To the Eastern Casualty and Trust Company, number 25, Yardley Boulevard, Boston, Massachusetts. The following is an accounting of expenditures during my investigation of the Callicles Matter. Expense account item 9, $100, legal retainer. I hired an attorney named Robert Watson to arrange for a court order impounding all the records in the Parsons brokerage house. I also turned over to him the forged reports. After that, I drove out to see Parsons, still laid up in bed.
Who spilled the beans?
You did, mainly. I didn't believe that guy here yesterday afternoon. I didn't believe the woman who was supposed to be his wife. So let it go at that. I'm here to find David Parsons, Jr. Let's stop playing games.
Don't get fresh with me, boy. I've crunched many a loud talker just like you.
You want me to walk out of here and start jamming up your works right now, or do you want to listen? You've botched up everything so far. Do I handle it, or do we keep on like this?
I'm going to kill you when I get on my feet.
In the meantime, you're going to lie there and like it. I came out here to find your son. You arranged to throw me off his trail by hiring a woman to play his wife and a man to appear and pretend he was your son. Let's take it from there. I understand you've had private detectives looking for him all over the country. What agency?
Universal Operators.
Who's in charge of it there?
Man named Underwood.
Have they got any leads?
Nothing for 12 days.
Did he take anything?
I don't know. We haven't made an audit.
Well, there'll be an audit. I've got the machinery started right now.
Who do you think...
Shut up and lie down or you'll bust a blood vessel. Is Mrs. Parsons in town?
I sent her down to Palm Springs.
All right, it's 10:15 now. If I remember right, there's a plane from Palm Springs about noon. Call her there and tell her I'll be at her house at 2 o'clock. I want to talk to her.
Are you giving me orders?
I sure am. I want everybody in that household there. 2 o'clock. You arrange it.
I'll arrange nothing for you. Now get out of here.
Call who you have to call. 2 o'clock, Mr. Parsons. I left him fuming on the phone and drove my rented car downtown to the offices of Universal Operatives Incorporated. Mr. Underwood, the man in charge of finding David Parsons, Jr., shook my hand and told me he could report nothing to me about the case. I asked him to phone old man Parsons, which he did. That changed his mind. He broke down and gave me an hour-long story on what they'd done to locate the missing man. When he was finished, it came out the same way. They'd run into blank walls everywhere. They had no idea where David Parsons might be. I told Underwood he and his staff were fired and that Mr. Parsons would confirm it. I left him fuming on the phone. Expense account item 10, $4, 2 drinks and lunch, all alone. After that, I drove over to the residence of David Parsons, Jr. Mrs. Parsons was a tall, graceful woman in her late 30s, settled on a sofa in front of the fireplace. The clothes she was wearing, the house itself, the appointments of the formal room, all suggested a well-run, well-kept sort of life.
I've answered so many questions from those private detectives.
I'm sorry to put you through it all again.
You must operate in a rather high-handed manner, Mr. Dollar. My father-in-law expressly told me the point here is not to let any of this get into the papers.
The point here is to find your husband, Mrs. Parsons. He's been missing 12 days now.
Well, I suppose I was the last one to see him. It was after dinner. He went upstairs. I didn't see him after that.
This would be...
The 13th. Yes, it was.
Did he sleep here that night?
His bed had been slept in, yes.
Then he really disappeared sometime on the 14th.
I suppose that's accurate. He wasn't in his office that day.
Did he take a car?
No. But I know the private detectives checked the cab companies
He
to
could
see
have flagged one 2 blocks away. How about clothes? Did he pack anything?
Not a thing.
Money?
I don't know.
Okay. Can you think of any enemies who might want to harm your husband?
Enemies? Oh, dear, no.
Think a minute.
Well, perhaps in his office, in his business, there's someone. But he never discussed what went on there with me.
Mm-hmm. Are you sure?
It was a rule. This is our home. That is David's business. We just never talked about what went on in his office at all.
How long have you and Mr. Parsons been married?
18 years next July.
Have you been getting along?
Of course we've been getting along. We've gotten along always.
Ever discussed the probability of divorce or anything like that?
Certainly not.
Can you think of any reason why Mr. Parsons would just walk out and not come back?
None whatsoever.
Have the people in his office been worried about him?
Well, I believe Mr. Ecker's the only one who knows. The others think he's away on a business trip.
In other words, the whole thing's been kept quiet.
Oh, yes, of course. This merger situation is quite delicate. As you know,
Mrs. Parsons, were you very close to him?
I beg your pardon.
Don't beg my pardon. Just answer the question. Everybody seems to be worried about a merger, not about a man. Did you spend time together, do things together?
Well, of course. We entertained frequently, we traveled, we had common interests.
What?
Well, home, of course.
What else?
I don't know what you mean.
Did you enjoy each other, go out together, have fun?
Oh, really?
Did he have a hobby?
Well, yes, sort of. David liked to read and write a little. He fancied himself a scholar along some lines.
What lines?
Oh, literature. Of course, it was just an indulgence.
Where did he indulge himself?
He had a small study upstairs.
Would it be possible to look at that room?
Oh, yes, I suppose so.
All right, I'll get to that in a minute. Mr. Parson, drink very much?
Cocktails before dinner, maybe 2 or 3 after.
Ever any long drinking jobs on the town?
David never went off and drank, if that's what you're trying to find out.
Oh, that's what I'm trying to find out. Is he in good health?
Yes, perfect, I think.
What's the name of his doctor?
Stanley Warner, Dr. Warner.
Okay. How about his attitude?
What do you mean?
What kind of man is he? Quiet, loud, what?
Oh, I'd say David is, and always has been, a very quiet person.
Like his work?
Of course, he loves it.
His home?
I'm terribly afraid there's a great deal of insinuation in these questions you ask, Mr. Dollar.
What have you been doing in Palm Springs?
Resting.
Got a boyfriend?
Mr. Dollar.
Have you?
I resent that very much. Naturally, with my husband here, I go out with friends there. David knows about it.
You have a girlfriend?
You're being ridiculous.
No, you're being ridiculous.
What?
You sit here and describe the kind of association a man has with a drug clerk who sells him cigarettes, and you call it a marriage. Your husband disappears from the face of the earth, and you romp off to Palm Springs, forgetting all about it. You're insulted when I ask you what's wrong. You're hurt when I ask you how come, and you're annoyed when I mention it.
What on earth do you want me to do?
File a missing persons complaint right away. Get some help in here if it isn't too late.
Too late?
It could be, lady. It just could be you and your father-in-law have fooled around too long. She made the call. A half an hour later, 2 detectives from the Missing Persons Bureau were out here gathering facts. I tagged along. They questioned Mrs. Parsons, the servants. They examined the study as well as his bedroom. From all they could gather, David Parsons had nothing but the clothes on his back when he disappeared. By mid-afternoon, the police had started on old man Parsons and gone downtown to question the members of David Parsons' office force. The district attorney moved in quickly and negated my court order, impounding the books and records for a careful audit to determine if any money or bonds were missing. They promised to keep me informed. I went out on my own.
Come in, please.
Dr. Stanley Warner had a 4-suite office on Wilshire Boulevard. He was a big graying man who looked as though he played a lot of golf and drank a lot of whiskey when he had the chance. I told him about Parsons being missing and asked for some details.
Well, according to my records, I examined him the 1st of last month. He was in good health. Excellent for a man of his age and responsibility.
Could you explain that, Doctor?
No, I was thinking only by comparison. David Parsons is 40 years old. He's held a position of tremendous responsibility for many years. For a lesser man, or for a frailer man, the incidence of organic disturbance in this age area increases considerably. David Parsons' case, that didn't seem to hold true.
Doctor, are you talking about the pressure from his father?
Do you know the old man?
Mm-hmm.
I'm talking about that, yes. He cracked up a lot of people.
How do you suppose David Jr. escaped?
He knew how to escape, at least for periods of time, get a complete rest.
Was there any indication or any reason whatsoever when you examined him to suspect that he might suffer from some sort of mental trouble?
No. I'd say that when I examined him, he was in excellent mental shape, too.
I see. Did you ever meet him outside the office?
Socially?
Yeah.
Yes. Both belonged to the same country club. Played golf with him several times, seen him at dances, other affairs.
Mm-hmm. He and Mrs. Parsons strike you as a happy couple?
I'll answer that by saying that happiness is intangible. I envied him, though, not because of his wife, you understand, but because with all the requirements that were made of him, he was still a gentle, decent man.
You ever appear with other women?
Not that I know of.
Did you ever have occasion to talk with him with his hair down?
Once. Startled me at first. I was aware that he was a man of education and culture, but I was quite taken aback by his ability to quote the classics. Seemed incongruous somehow. I remember this day we met in the club. We had a drink. I don't think anyone was there except the waiters. I was talking to him, and suddenly he dropped off the conversation, and he stared ahead, and then he began to quote a Greek, Callicles.
Callicles?
Yes. I was so impressed by the passage, I took the trouble to look it up myself and write it down. I have it. Yes. Here. I can still see him quoting that word for word. Read it.
But if there were a man who had sufficient force, he would shake off and break through and escape from all this.
Go on, will you, please?
He would trample underfoot all our formulas and spells and charms, and all our laws which are against nature. The slave would rise in rebellion and be lord over us, and the light of natural justice would shine forth. When did Parsons quote this to you, Doctor?
Monday, the day before he disappeared.
Now, here's our star to tell you about tomorrow's final intriguing episode of this week's story.
The answer is with that old Greek who lived 3,000 years ago. Tomorrow we'll find it. Join us, won't you? Yours truly, Johnny Dollar.
Yours truly, Johnny Dollar, starring Bob Bailey, is transcribed in Hollywood. Written by John Dawson, it is produced and directed by Jack Johnstone. Be sure to join us tomorrow night, same time and station, for the next exciting episode of Yours truly, Johnny Dollar. Roy Rowan speaking.
That's part 4 of the 5-part Yours Truly Johnny Dollar story, The Callicles Matter, from May 3rd, 1956, here on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox. And to say that an unexpected ending is coming, well, that's speaking mildly. What you can expect is for me to ask you to thank this radio station and support their advertisers, because it is their kindness and courtesy that allows us to be with you each and every time we're here on your favorite radio station. Also, if you miss a day, you do not have to miss a single show. All of our shows are available on demand through iHeartRadio, Spotify, TuneIn, Spreaker, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcast, Amazon, or on Facebook. Just search for Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox. That's Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox. And I have a webpage, classicradio.stream. That's another place you can stream our shows on demand. You can learn more about classic radio collecting, and you can also contact me there. classicradio.stream. classicradio.stream. Thank you so much for spending part of your day with us. Tell all your friends the great radio shows are right here at this spot on the dial. Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox on your favorite radio station.